airfield at Ubon in southeastern Thailand has now been added to the long list of overseas bases where men and machines of the Royal Australian Air Force have made their mark. On June the 1st, 1962, No. 79 Squadron flew from Singapore to this small airfield in Thailand. Australia had been quick to respond to a Southeast Asia Treaty Organization request for forces to be stationed in Thailand when that country appealed for assistance. During the Second World War, No. 79 Fighter Squadron operated from Pacific Island bases. The squadron was disbanded in November 1945, but was reformed in Singapore in May 1962 when the SEATO appeal was made. Equipped with Australian-built Sabre jet fighters, the squadron was in Thailand within a matter of days. At Ubon, the squadron settled into work without fuss or bother. This routine was nothing new to the Australians. Extensive squadron mobility training was paying dividends, and after all, the RAAF had gone into action 2 days after the Korean War opened. The Australian Sabre carries a big punch, the Sidewinder air-to-air missile. When released, this weapon homes onto its target with deadly accuracy. There was a difference to the Armourers' work in Ubon, however. These Sidewinders were for real. They were not practice missiles. And the ammunition being loaded into the Aden guns also had a more lethal air than practice rounds. To become operational at Ubon, the RAAF literally started from scratch. Everything had to be flown in by air. The Australian Hercules transport aircraft were the key to this side of the work, and during the first 10 days of the occupation, Hercules aircraft carried more than 100 tons of supplies and equipment into Ubon. As well, all ground personnel were flown in by service aircraft. Maintenance was carried out in the open, and there was nothing unusual in briefings and plannings carried out in the open air. Whether on mobility exercises anywhere in the SEATO area, in Australia or in Malaya, the Sabre drill is the same. Aircraft have to be checked before takeoff. Flying equipment and safety gear have to be in readiness. This time the takeoffs were against a background of tents and bare airfield, but it wasn't long before permanent workshops and huts replaced the tents, and nearly all of it was to be brought in by the hard-working Hercules. Routine work and administration didn't miss a beat. The pay parade, whether at home or overseas, is always a welcome break, and Ubon is no exception. With another sortie over, the Sabre pilots return to the crew tent, while the aircraft flight records are kept in order at an open-air office table just as efficiently as in a flight room back home. Like most Australian servicemen overseas, the RAAF members at Ubon quickly made friends with the Thai servicemen, and a visit to the Ubon township demonstrates that their relationship with the local population was just as good. Transport is slightly different from home. The main street of Ubon is not as crowded as Melbourne or Sydney. While it cannot match the shopping facilities of the Australians' hometown, there's something familiar about the banter which goes on with the tradespeople. And there are interesting people to meet here also. Back at the airfield, however, the work goes on. Patrols continue, and so No. 79 Squadron is playing its part in the peacetime role of the Royal Australian Air Force. Saturday the 29th of July 1961 is a memorable day for RAAF Base Wagga, New South Wales. It's to receive the freedom of the city. Looking neat in their uniforms, the officers and men of the base march onto Wagga Cricket Ground. The officer commanding RAAF Base Wagga, Group Captain A.T. Fay, as parade commander, invites the Deputy Mayor, Alderman F.C. White, to inspect the parade.
The freedom of the city
After
of
the inspection, the town clerk reads a parchment scroll containing the declaration of the freedom of the city to the Air Force. Air Marshal Sir Frederick Scherger, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee, addresses the citizens of Wagga and thanks them for the high honour bestowed on the Air Force. The officer commanding receives the scroll.
Group Captain Fay, I have much pleasure in handing you the scroll.
Queen's colours are marched onto the ground, and Winjeel and Vampire aircraft fly over in salute to the citizens of Wagga. The parade presents arms. The ceremony at the cricket ground ends as Alderman White takes the salute during the march past. The men march through Wagga's main streets to exercise their right to pass through the city. At Wollundri Lagoon Bridge, the Superintendent of Police halts the marching men. After examining their credentials, he allows the march to continue, with swords drawn, bayonets fixed, drums beating and colours flying. The men march to the cenotaph. For Air, Senator Wade was among those who placed wreaths in memory of citizens of Wagga killed in the defence of their country. The last post, played by trumpeters of the RAAF Central Band, concludes the colourful ceremony. The following day, the RAAF returns the hospitality of the townspeople by opening the base for inspection. In a gala atmosphere, thousands of people visit the base to see the Air Force at work. There are displays of equipment of all kinds. RAAF firemen show they're not afraid of fire. Flying displays always please, and this one was no exception. These Winjeels from Point Cook turn on aerobatics. All eyes are skyward as Vampire jets from the Central Flying School at East Sale give a demonstration of precision flying and aerobatics. Canberra bombers from RAAF Base Amberley, Queensland, are also there. All in all, it's quite an occasion. 2 days which will long be remembered by the Air Force and the people of Wagga and District.